and welcome to Transformation Now. Hi, I'm Rita, rocker, speaker, author, trainer with SoaringHigher.rocks, and I welcome you here today. And I'm going to finish working through my book, Hope at the End of Your Rope: Steps to Rebuild Your Life. Okay, so I left off last time with talking about the developing of your value system in chapter 10 of my book. And again, our value system is the hierarchy of values based on the choices that we make. Choices that you're wonderful, you're a great person, you're loving, you're kind, or choices where I hate everything and everybody, and I'm going to let them know that. And so think about the kind of choices you want to make to exhibit an awesome value system that will draw people in, that will want to be around you, that love your confidence and your humility and how much you care for other people. And they can tell that by how you look at them, how you talk to them, how you treat yourself. So again, think about that. And I had mentioned that the 4 characteristics that we place our value on as far as who we are and actually who other people think we are is physically, everything outwardly, everything that a person sees when they talk to us. Intellectually, how do we perform? What do we think about? What are our topics we want to talk about? Once in a while, yes, we may need to watch a silly movie, laugh with some friends or family, and just kind of chill. Okay, that's great. That is fine. We need to do that and give our brains a break. But then intellectually as well, how do we talk to other people? Do we have interesting things that we can discuss with them? I've talked to a few ladies lately that are friends about how important it is that we have some intellectual conversations. We can actually talk about current events, although there we have to be really careful, or other things that are happening that intellectually, it takes some reading, it takes some thinking, it takes some watching of the good things, not all the things you're seeing right now. Financially, which your finances don't have anything to do with how valuable you are, okay? And so never think that money determines who you are, because I've seen so many of the most successful people who started out with 0 and they worked their way up through that because they did not devalue themselves so much that they think, well, I'm broke, I'm going to stay that way. Well, if you think that, you will stay that way. And so I think about that. And then the fourth one that I discussed was socially. How do I see myself? How do other people see me? Am I in the it crowd? Well, the it crowd should be those who, for you, should be those who are good, friends, loving, caring, supportive. They have your back when you need it, okay? So that's what it is socially, not what you see through influencers and all the stuff on TV, all that. No, that is not who you are, should not be who you are, and your value and your worth. So think about that, and that you are made in God's image. So then as I left off the last part, it's working out our destiny with peace, strength, and gratitude or gratefulness with a purpose, okay, in our lives to make a powerful difference for now and eternity. And gratitude, I've been through so much in my life, but a lot recently. And so, sometimes we get in that point where we just kind of, well, yeah, I'm living here right now, but I sure don't want to, but gee, I can't swing anything else. And you think about, oh, I wish I had that, and I wish I had, their clothes and their money and their car, blah, blah, blah. And God himself has really been working on me lately. It's like, can you see? Yep. Can you hear? Yes. You can walk and talk, right? Yes. Do you have water to drink and to do laundry with? Yes. Do you have a roof over your head? Yes. Do you have food that you can eat? Yes. And I have really switched my attitude and my mind lately, especially recently, that, oh my gosh, I've been to Haiti. I know one guy who didn't have any, well, most of them don't have any water unless they do a lot to, get a little bit. But dipping his finger in the filthy water in the curb because there had been some rain to kind of clean his teeth. Can you imagine? And seeing people starving and all the things people are going through in this world. And so, it's really changed a lot. I went to bed last night and I was thanking God for everything. And when I get in the shower, I thank him for a hot shower because I remember what it was like in Haiti. And like pictures that I see of people in other countries and even America that are going through so many tough times. So, you know, if that's you right now, and it's kind of like, well, this and that, why isn't that happening? This has never worked for me, etc. I want you to start thinking about what you're grateful for. And so many people, even in the more New Age system, spirituality, whatever it is, all say gratitude is one of the absolutely biggest building blocks you must have to be successful, to go forward, to get out of a situation you were in and into a new situation that would be God's purpose for you, that you would love, that you'd be happy with. It totally transforms your life. So I would say very strongly, be grateful for every single thing that you have. I have a friend who, she still gets tears in her eyes, and you know, she's a lot older. She's an older senior citizen now, but her mom died when she was 9, and then she ended up kind of with the wicked stepmother, right? And so she still has those feelings inside of her. And when she gets really lonely and feels depressed, why did she leave me when I was only 9 years old because she had passed away? She goes, no, I have to be grateful that I had her for 9 years, because some kids don't ever really know their parent. And so that's the way, sometimes we have to turn tough things around and go, okay, yeah, this wasn't ideal. This really hurt. I'm so sad that this person is gone, but I am grateful for the good years that we had together. I have another friend I've known for many, many years. And it's been, I guess, almost about 5 years now since her husband passed away. And she'll say, looking kind of sad, I really miss him. I really miss him, and he was such a wonderful man. And then she immediately takes the step forward and goes, but I am so grateful that I had him for those 20 years, whatever it was. I'm so grateful that I had him in my life for that. So sometimes we have to do that. We have to be grateful for the things we have experienced and that we can see, hear, walk, talk. I said, Father, thank you for this food, and I thank you that I'm able to feed myself this food, because a lot of people aren't. And so sometimes we really have to get down to the bare facts here of what's really important and all the blessings that we still have, even though we might be going through a lot of tough things at the time. So think about that and visualize your new behaviors that you need to do. New behaviors in being kind, being energetic, being thoughtful, your new behaviors of, you know what, I'm giving up this hour of TV, maybe it's 4 hours, but you know, I'm giving up one of my hours of TV right now. I'm going to get on YouTube, or I'm going to get a book, and I'm going to study something that I really want to do, want to be, would like to enjoy. Maybe you need a break, and it's like, I'm going to get on YouTube, and I'm going to learn how to do the stationary cha-cha dance, so I can get out there and I can join the other people and have a lot of fun, all right? So we need to think about that. And then build bridges to what is good for you, that's productive for you, with the kind of people that are in your area, in your team, okay? So build bridges to those things that are good and productive and beneficial for you and your family. You know, you can only control your own intentions, no one else's. So you have to truly make intentions to do things that will transform your life. The lady I mentioned again, I know she was up to, I think, about 400 pounds, something like that. And I mean, she shows you sometimes on Facebook things that she's been cooking and getting into relays and up at 5 o'clock, and has several kids, and doing all these things to transform her life. So she just totally took control. Her intentions were transform every bit of my life for me, my family, and those people that I'm helping in the areas that they need help with. So see yourself using all of your senses in the area that you want to be in, that you want to achieve. Like, for instance, I know this sounds silly to a lot of people. It kind of did to me first, too. But then I think everybody that I've heard testimonies of that really came from nothing to being very successful, okay? Like the young lady, she and her mom had been in halfway houses and missions from the time she was, I don't know how that many years, junior high and high school, and yet she won a scholarship to Harvard. Did she see herself as somebody who was going to be living on the street or living in a dumpy place the rest of her life with nothing? No. And so how do people like that get ahead? Okay, one thing, they see themselves with a new partner, a new career, thriving in a new city, several dress sizes smaller, or whatever their heart's desire is. So when you see yourself with a partner, so many people have been successful with this, so you have to think about it. What is their character? I know a gal who, even as a more mature person, and she made a list of what she wanted in a man. And then, you know, she got on kind of some dating sites. That's not where she met him. But I looked at that list of 10 things and I was shocked. I didn't say anything, but not one of them was about the person's character. It was the car, the home, the this, the that, the travel. And I'm just like, what? And so anyway, what is the character of the person that you want to be with? Or maybe the character of the employees that you want to hire, or character of the boss that you want to have with a company. What is character? Who are they? All right, so think about what is the character in that new a person. Kind, respectful, fun-loving, adventuresome, more quiet, prefer a homebody, but very loving, likes to help in the kitchen, whatever. But think about those things as far as a new partner. Be very specific. Okay, I heard of a lady who wrote all these things down of the perfect husband that she wanted. She lived in Dallas, and she kept her faith so strongly that one day this good-looking guy in a little red sports car with the top down looked over at her at a stoplight, waved. They pulled over into like a gas station parking lot, started talking. They got married. I'll go figure that one. But it was, yeah, that was a little wild. But anyway, that was kind of what she was looking for. I remember a friend that I worked with whose best friend was in a car accident on the interstate. Not a bad one, more of just a bumper thing. So they pulled off at the interstate, they got out, they talked, they, you know, shared information with each other and all that. So the next day he calls her, hey, how you doing? I just want to make sure you're all right and all that. Well, guess what? They ended up getting married. Seriously, the truth. And what happened? He had actually bumped into her in slow traffic on the interstate, so go figure. But anyway, she also had certain characteristics in the man she wanted, and obviously he was very thoughtful and caring and all those good things. So you just never know. In your career, again, you know, when I was into staffing and human resources, yes, people needed to have the education. Yes, they needed to fulfill all the other qualifications. Yes, they should have had the personality to fit in. So think of culture. I always thought of culture, not just, oh yeah, they have all these degrees, they have this and that. And what about the culture that you want to work in? If you're a very active, lively person, and this kind of culture would be one where everybody's just real strict and quiet and in their little cubicle all day long. No, 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 no. So when you're praying even for a career, think about those things as well, because those can make you or break you in a job. And then think about how confident are you? If you learned a couple more skills, would you be more confident to get the kind of job you want and have that kind of career that you want where you can build steps? I have a friend that I went to high school with, and she had no college whatsoever. And I didn't see her for, gosh, what was it, many years. And then about 12 years ago, I ran into her, and both being single then, and we started going out and doing things and having fun. She had been widowed a year and a half before that, but she knew she had to get out now and do things. And so, you know, it was really interesting with her is that, again, she didn't have any college at all. She started out at one of, at the time, largest advertising and marketing agencies in the country. And she started out doing basic bookkeeping, accounting. It was, you know, money crunching and clerical. She started out clerical. Do you know where she ended up before she retired with her wealthy husband, and now they've been traveling forever? She was a vice president of something to do with going out into New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, of media. And so she would talk to these people who were doing ads, who were doing commercials, and work out all the contract work and everything at this huge advertising agency. Her title included vice president. She had no college. She started out with the basic on the adding machine. So think about that in your career and where you want to go. I mean, she made so many steps. When I saw her business card, I about choked. I thought, good for you, girl. And so again, where you are doesn't mean that's where you have to stay. Thriving in a new city, sometimes that's a really awesome thing if you can, if you want to, or maybe you have to move because a spouse has got a better job there, etc. But think about and visualize in your mind, have conversations, see yourself with the kind of people you want to be with, the kind of places that you want to be in, that you want to go, things that you want to do, things you want to avoid. You know, so think about all those things that you want to do that are good and productive and fun, and then think of the home. I've heard so many people who now live in gorgeous, huge monster homes, but they started out with not much, and they would literally drive through the neighborhoods of the areas that they wanted a house like this. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but I've heard so many testimonies of people, they actually ended up getting the house of their dreams because they wouldn't let go of it. They kept thinking of it, and it actually was brought to them. I know people talk about the universe and all that. I don't really get into that much, but think about that, because as you visualize, experience it. You know, I've seen the word experience, and I think that's so important because when we literally in our minds experience feeling happy, feeling loved, feeling strong in our work abilities, it works. So think, what do you want to experience? What do you want to feel? We always think, well, what do you want to feel? Because when you feel like you're in the right area, when you feel you're with the right person, when you feel you're making a difference in other people's lives, oh my goodness. You have felt it so much it became a reality because that's the path that you started taking. So think about that and always be very specific. When I ended the last program, I just touched on praying for certain things. Like I heard one time this boy said, oh, please God, you know, I want a bicycle. I need a bicycle in order to get to school because I live too far away. And so then somebody kind of educated him, okay, so if you just get some old rinky-dink bicycle that's all rusted, is that okay? Well, no, that's not what I want. Well, then be specific. What color do you want? What kind of things do you want on it that are, you know, the different speeds, whatever. Be very specific. I've known of a couple ladies who did that for a new vehicle, and they got it. They had felt and experienced and visualized them in that car for not even really all that long, and it literally happened. You know, it sounds crazy, but I've seen the testimonies and heard them of things that really happened. And I've seen the vehicles. I knew their lifestyle before that, and I knew their financial lack, but it happened. So we have to really think about that and be very specific. Hear encouraging words. I remember one time hearing, I'm going to make a lot of money one of these days, and I'm going to come back and cram it down your throat. Okay, that never happened. But anyway, so what you want to think of is hearing people say, hey, great job, good for you. Oh my, you know, you did a beautiful job on that. We so appreciate the thoughts, the kindness. Here, in your spirit, in your mind, people clapping for you or saying, you know what, I would love to have you on my team. I think you'd be perfect on my team at XYZ company, and you keep hearing that. All right, so keep doing things like that as well. And thinking of a partner or your kids, maybe kids, there's a lot of trouble between parents and kids nowadays, but you know, for instance, hearing a parent or a child say, I love you. Thank you for being in my life. Hear those things. Literally hear them in your spirit. Think about it. See it, hear it. And then another one is imagine the touch, a wonderful hug, maybe somebody walking by the job and they just give you a nice pat on the shoulder. Hey, good job. You did an awesome job with that report. Okay, so think about that. A friendly touch is very, very important. But one little thing I will throw in here that's a little bit maybe off subject, but on touching is that you have to be very careful of how the person responds. I used to work with a gal, and she's a goof. She's fun, but she's just goofy and always likes to get kind of rowdy. And she would come by and she'd just go, hey, and she kind of smacked me on the arm. Okay, finally I said, please don't do that, because I have been abused to the point where if somebody does that, it sets me off, and I don't want to be that way. And she still did it a couple times because she just wasn't thinking. So again, with touch, we want friendly, loving touches, but we also have to be very careful with people, especially if you don't know their backgrounds. So then picture yourself doing what is so important to you. I'm having issues with, I really need to get to the gym, but at least put on some workout videos from YouTube. So think about working out. Visualize yourself working out, but having fun with it. And you're feeling so much more energized. Picture yourself smiling as you step on the scale and see that it's down 20 pounds, if that's a goal that you have, okay? So picture those things. Picture yourself in the car, the SUV you want, and you're driving across country to your new location, your new dream. But as you're driving along, you're seeing different kinds of sights along the way. Picture that. Sounds crazy a lot of times, but I've seen too many testimonies that this really works, because that's how your brain is now geared. It won't accept mediocrity anymore. It won't accept negative things. It'll accept what you're now thinking. It kicks into your subconscious, which rules pretty much what happens to you until you change it through your conscious mind. And so always remember the saying, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he or she. So whatever we think in our heart is what's going to happen to us, because we keep drawing the same thing in, or we're going, nope, I'm pushing you out, I'm grabbing this because this is where I want to go in my life. So spend every day creating that picture. Maybe the only time it's quiet is when you get in bed or when everybody's asleep. So before you go to sleep or when you wake up in the morning, just visualize that. Visualize in the bathroom if you need to. Visualize in your car or lunchtime, whatever the case may be. And watch these things start to change in your life. So it will become natural behavior to you then. So faith is the assurance, this is a scripture, faith is the assurance of receiving the things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen yet. Okay, so when we have faith, we're going to believe for something, not just going to think it. We haven't seen it yet. I don't know how it's possible. Is this really possible? How could I think about doing this? How could I think about speaking in front of 500 people? How could I drive this gorgeous new car that I really wanted all my life? Okay, so faith is the assurance that you're receiving it, so it goes way beyond thinking or hoping, but knowing in your mind, like I've just been through talking about some situations, the evidence of things not seen, the key word is yet. So you keep going. So think about that and the things that you could do to move you forward. That is so critical. When you do these things, please sit down quietly. Please take the electronics away and use a notebook. The last week, probably, I've taken a journal. I remember starting this journal back in 1998. Okay, it's 2023 now. And I started looking at some things. I've always kept it. Sometimes there were messages I felt God gave me that were very powerful that I wrote down. I wrote down some scriptures. I wrote down other things, as life progressed and went through the ups and downs. And I was shocked to see some of the things that I had written clear back as far as 1998. A lot of things I still wanted. And that was my calling. It still is my calling. And I sat there going, wow, I haven't seen this ever happen yet. I haven't seen this happen yet. And then I had to look back at, what did I do? What kind of seeds was I planting? Did I plant seeds that would get me there and nurture and water those? Or did I let this life go by, happen to me, whatever happened, happened, and I just settled for it? And so sometimes if you start journaling like that and you start tracking things and you start looking back, you're going, oh my gosh, now I see why I'm in this place. because of things that did or did not happen according to what I really wanted. And that woke me up a lot, even, just a week ago, thinking, oh my gosh, yeah, I see this still hasn't been done yet. And I've wanted to do this for a long time. So behaviors change, thoughts change, belief system change, and your value system has to change, okay? And know how extremely valuable and loved you are, and that all things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. Our purpose a lot of times isn't the right one, and it may not manifest ever. But when we let him do his purpose through us, he will provide. Like a gal I know, she said, well, if it's God's will, he'll pay the bill. And I said, okay, I'm standing on that one for some things that I'm wanting and needing right now. So always remember that he will provide for all of your needs according to his glorious riches by Christ Jesus. So have an awesome week. I look forward to continuing this program next time. God bless.